Hi everyone. Let's look at the part two now from chapter three, mode of actions of enzymes. Okay, so the learning outcome for this topic, we're going to look at to explain the mode of action of enzyme uh in terms of some specific term that we need to use. Okay, active site, enzyme substrate complex, lowering of activation energy, enzyme specificity, including the model that we describes the mode of action of enzyme, which is the lock and key model or lock and key hypothesis, as well as induced fit hypothesis or induced fit model. Okay, so let us start now. So in this case, draw on figure 3.2.1.1 a curve to show changes in energy during the progress of the same reactions when catalyzed by the enzyme. So when catalyzed by the enzyme, you can see that the decrease in terms of the activation energy, but the initial energy level and the final energy level will be the same. There's no change in the energy. Okay, so state a term given to the energy level, okay, that must be overcome before reaction can progress. So the answer is activation energy. Explain how enzyme lower the activation energy needed to allow reactions to proceed. So how basically enzyme provide an alternative pathway for the reaction. Okay, so how they bring this alternative pathway? So one of the methods, they can actually bring the reactant close together in the active site to form enzyme substrate complex, or enzyme can put a strain on the reactants where the enzyme active site actually exerts the pressure on the existing chemical bonds, and this will help bond break or form more easily, and also they can transfer charges or group during the reaction. Okay, so you either can put in your answer marking point number 1 and marking point number 2 to get the 2 marks point, or marking point 1, 3, 4 together, to gain that 2 marks. Yeah. Okay, so question 2. Okay, figure 3.2.2.1 is a ribbon model of the structure of enzyme penicillinase. Okay, the enzyme that break down penicillin. So the arrow, can you see that? This is arrow that indicates the active site of the enzyme. So explain why the shape of the active site of enzymes such as penicillinase is important. So we need to talk about the complementary, the specificity in this case. Okay, so in terms of specificity, so the substrate has a complementary shape. Now, highlight the words. So whenever we talk about complementary, you must include the word shape. Yeah, don't forget. Okay, a lot of mark scheme actually credit or give awards the marks. Okay, when you put in the word shape. Without the word shape, you might not get the mark. Okay, so because of their complementary, so the substrate now can fit into the active site or the enzyme. Okay, so therefore enzyme active site show the specificity, so only specific substrate can bind to the active site. Okay, so you can talk about the lock and key model, induced fit model, describe how the enzyme active site function during the reaction, and very important to decrease the activation energy. Temporary bond play a very important role. So temporary bonds such as hydrogen bond form between the substrate and the R group in the active site. So that's why it is very important to maintain the shape of the active site to allow the substrates to bind to. Okay, so describe how enzymes take part in the chemical reactions, or question can ask the mode of actions or enzyme. Both of them actually they are similar. Okay, so enzyme, they are biocatalysts or catalysts, so it must have active site. Okay, so the shape of the active site is complementary to the shape of the substrate. So the R group in the active site form temporary bond such as hydrogen bond or ionic bond with a substrate. So because of this, enzyme lowers the activation energy and to make sure that ES complexes can be formed. Okay, so almost similar in this case, you can see that active site has a specific shape. So how is specific? How specific it is? So we always talk about complementary. Okay, so you can see that I always put in the word shape, yeah? So the active site shape is complementary to the shape of the substrate, and the R group in the active site form temporary bonds such as hydrogen bond or ionic bond with the substrate. And because of this, enzyme lowers the activation energy so that the ES complex, okay, can be formed as well. Okay, Okay, let's look at question number 3. The enzyme sucrase is used in many organisms for the hydrolysis of sucrose. So with reference to figure 3.2.3.1 describes the mechanism of actions. Okay, so when question asks about mechanism and question show us something like this, do you realize that the shape of the substrate, the shape of the active site is exactly complementary. So in this case, we can always put in the lock and key model. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so yeah, look at this. Okay, the shape of active site is perfectly, okay, or exactly we use the word complementary to that of the substrate. Again, you can see that I have the word shape here. Okay, so the substrate binds into the active site, forming enzyme substrate complex described by the lock and key. Why I use the lock and key, as I mentioned previously, you can see that the shape of the substrate is complementary, exactly complementary to the shape of the active site. So that's why we use a lock and key model. So briefly explain, in this case, the lock is the enzyme and the key is the substrate. And the keyhole definitely, okay, represents the active site. Okay, so the active site in this case give a specificity to the enzyme, so that now the R group of the active site form temporary bond such as hydrogen bond or ionic bond. And because of the formation of temporary bond, enzyme lower the activation energy by holding the reactant close together for the bond, the breakage of the bond and the formations of the bonds. Yeah. Okay. So always remember, when catalysis process take place, it always involve the breakage of the bond first in order to form new bonds. Yeah. Okay. Okay, elastase has an active site with a specific shape. The mode of actions of this enzyme supports the lock and key model. As long as we talk about lock and key model, we always use perfectly complementary. Yeah. So in the lock and key model, explain that this should be, sorry, comma. Okay, the lock is the enzyme and the key is the substrate in this case. Yeah. So substrate is the elastic. Right? So the substrate bind into the active site forming enzyme substrate complex. Always remember the lock and key model emphasize on the R group form temporary bond with the substrate. Yeah. Okay. So that they can form enzyme substrate complex. So this temporary bond must be either hydrogen bonds or ionic bonds. Yeah. So the enzyme, because of formation of this temporary bond, enzyme lower the activation energy, okay, by holding reactant close together for the bond or new bond formation, or you can say the breakage of the existing bond. So we have done for this lock and key model. So we continue with the induced fit hypothesis. Okay, so induced fit hypothesis, we always mention that not completely complementary or not fully complementary, and the active site undergoes a conformational chain or change in the precise three-dimensional shape to fit the specific substrate so that it is more complementarily as the substrate approaches the active site. Okay, so and because of this now, the active site shape is more complementary. So this allows the enzyme substrate complex to be formed. And the shape change help to lower the activation energy. Why? Because the active site now puts strain or exert the pressure on the existing bond. Okay. So, and when the reactions have been done or completed, the active site return to its original shape after the product is released. Here. So very important, and in terms of the induced fit model, you must understand that the active site now put the strain on the existing chemical bond. So reduce the activation energy to break the bonds. Yeah. Okay, next question. So now we look at this. The original active site shape, the U, okay, and the substrate. So they are not exactly complementary. So in this case, we know that it must be induced fit model, right? Okay. So name the part of the enzyme label U, definitely active site. So explain the mode of action of the enzyme. So it's not fully complementary. So the enzyme active site is not fully complementary to the substrate at first. So the active site undergoes a conformational change to fit the specific substrate more complementarily as the substrate approaches. Yeah. Okay. So this allows the enzyme substrate complex to be formed. At the same time, the shape change in the active site helps to lower the activation energy by putting strains on the bond in the substrate. And when the reaction is completed, it returns back to the original shape. Correct? So we say the active site return to its original shape after the product is released. Okay, so the enzyme collagenase, so basically the enzyme that break down collagen. Okay, so this enzyme act by using an induced fit mechanism. So describe the mode of actions of collagenase. So the enzyme, again, active site is not fully complementary. So the active site must undergo active sites, not the enzyme shape only, but the active site as well undergoes a conformational change to fit the specific substrate more complementarily as the substrate approaches. So, and this allowed the enzyme substrate complex to be formed. And because of the change in the shape of the active site, so active site now put the strains on the existing chemical bond, and the active site return to original shape after the product is released. Let's look at question 5. Okay, we have two types of substrates. You can see that one is exactly complementary, and another one is, okay, not fully complementary. Okay, we have enzyme A, enzyme B. So explain the difference between the two ways in which enzymes interact with their substrate as shown in figure 3.255.1. So enzyme A uses lock and key model because exactly complementary. Enzyme B actually uses the induced fit model. So in the lock and key model, active site shape is perfectly complementary to the shape of the substrate. However, in the induced fit model, the active site undergoes a conformational change to fit the specific substrate more complementarily as the substrate approaches. Okay, so these are the two main differences. Okay. Sucrose synthase, okay, acts by using an induced fit mechanism rather than a lock and key model. With reference to sucrose synthase and the synthesis of sucrose, outline the difference between the induced fit mechanism and lock and key mechanism. So because here outlined, okay, so we can give a simple answer in this case. In the induced fit model, the shape of the substrate are not fully complementary. However, in the lock and key model, the shape of the substrate are perfectly complementary. This is how we actually describe the change. In the induced fit model, the active site undergoes a conformational change to fit the specific substrate. However, the active site does not change the shape in the lock and key model, yeah? Okay, because the substrate fits perfectly into the original active site from the start. Okay? So, with this, we have done for part 2. Okay, so stay tuned for part 3.